So you've probably seen the hype, you've probably seen the YouTube videos, how to find a $50,000 a month product in 36 seconds, how I'm making $2 million as a 14-year-old on Instagram as an Amazon FBA guru. You've probably seen all this crazy stuff, but what is the real opportunity around Amazon FBA now? And where is this headed? That's what I want to talk about in this video. Is this still an opportunity now? And what is this going to look like as we head into the year 2020 and beyond? So the thing is there's a lot of noise in this space, and my goal in this video is just to cut through that noise, cut the BS, and let's just talk real about this. Let's just talk about the opportunity, what I honestly think, what I honestly see, and hopefully that can be of value to you. And I want to clarify before I get into my predictions and what I would do if I was starting now or starting in 2020, but I want to make sure it's clear that I'm talking about the model of private label when it comes to Amazon FBA. So Amazon FBA is fulfillment by Amazon. That is using Amazon's ecosystem of warehouses and their tools and Seller Central, all of that, to be able to use their resources to sell to their customers. So we as sellers use their platform, we get inventory into Amazon FBA warehouses, and then if the customer buys, Amazon picks, packs, ships, all of that stuff. That is the FBA platform. There are different business models within FBA. There's wholesale, where you're selling other people's products. There's arbitrage, where you're also selling other people's products, but just one-off here and there rather than having a wholesale account with an existing brand. And what I'm talking about here on this channel, what I have experience with myself, is the model that's usually referred to private label. I really prefer just calling it what it is, which is creating your own brand, becoming a product company yourself, talking with manufacturers, having products made under your label, your branding, your specifications, and creating your own offering in the marketplace and controlling that from end to end. And we'll get into how that opportunity has changed over time and where it's headed, but I just want to be clear that that is the business model that I have historically been the most excited about, and I still do think that this is the model you want to think about. There's definitely people that do well with all kinds of models, and if you can do those as a way to build up capital and leverage it into starting your own brand, great, fantastic. If you can scale those things into multi-million-dollar businesses just as that, even better. I'm all for it, but that is not where my experience lies. So I want to talk about the private label, creating your own brand model. It's the most exciting to me because you control it. You could even potentially sell this brand. Your own brand could end up being wholesaled to other sellers, other retailers, other stores. So just puts you much more in control. And why you might care to listen to me about this, I am just a random guy on the internet talking to you, as are all of the other videos. But as I said, there's a lot of noise in this space. There's just a lot of yelling about what this opportunity isn't from people that have not really seen the ins and outs of this space. And I started with this model going on 5 years ago now, and I was doing other e-commerce businesses before that, selling on eBay, things like that. And over the past couple of years, I've especially gotten an interesting vantage point as I've started with YouTube and with teaching and training and consulting around this Amazon FBA business model. So not only can I see what's going on in my own little world, but I've also been able to see what's going on from a broader perspective in a lot of people's businesses as I help them. So to grasp what's going to happen with this business model, you first need to understand where it's been and what's happening now. As I said, there is a lot of noise. So let's kind of clear that up first. So a handful of years ago, it really was a wide open business opportunity. It really was wildly easy. Everyone would succeed to some level. Idiots could do it. It really was true. And there's a lot of people that still push that kind of hype now. But the thing is that so much of this information, these strategies, these trainings, these teachings, these videos, these business plans are based on something that is just so wildly outdated at this point in 2019 going into 2020. In this online business world especially, and the whole world really, things are moving really fast. Things are changing really fast. And there are some principles that stay the same. That's very true. But you can't just apply a 4 or 5 year old Amazon strategy and expect to succeed now on Amazon. That's definitely not true. So back then you could just pick about any product, like literally just name one, pick it, slap it up on Amazon, just make up a brand name in your sleep, and then throw it up on Amazon, do a giveaway, get 100 reviews overnight and be on the first page and making some solid money relatively quickly. That worked, not works. That was the model 4 or 5 years ago. It really was. And that evolved into what I've been teaching the last few years on the channel, which is to have a branded approach, to not just launch a product, but to create a product brand, to launch this product, get it off the ground, sell related products, sell other customers that serve your audience, grow your audience, build your business into something real and sustainable and scalable. These are the things that I've been talking about and teaching on the channel for years now. And if you're new, there's a lot of content you absolutely should still go back and revisit about those topics on the channel, because that stuff still is relevant. Now, what are the areas that I'm seeing shift right now? What are the areas that are getting more difficult or require new strategies? And then we'll get into what I would do now. So one of the first areas that is really tightening up, this is something that I've said is the most important for years already, but I see it becoming even more important. I think it's rising to the top even more. And this is as simple as truly having a product that fits a new need. It fits a new place in the marketplace. It is not just another Me Too slapping up the same product. Now, where I think this is a little bit different than things I would have said, say, a year or two ago, is that little changes have always been okay. And that is still good to some extent. You don't need to completely reinvent everything, but I am seeing more and more difficulty when you don't really have a compelling reason to buy your product. Is your product really tapping into something that wasn't being offered already? Because to just be 3% better might not really shift the tides enough in order for your product to take off and crush those existing competitors. So I think there's going to be huge opportunities for people that create products that fit the needs of the marketplace a little bit differently. They go a level deeper and develop something that is truly meeting the needs of that market. Another shift that is certainly happening, and this is a scary one, this is something to be aware of, is that Amazon over the years has made it very clear that Amazon's customer data is theirs, not yours, not mine. And there have been a lot of ways that we can hack and manipulate this, not in a black hat illegal or not illegal, but not allowed by Amazon way. Like there have been legitimate ways of doing this, but these little gaps and these little holes are closing. And I think they could be closing even more. For example, years ago, you could just send as many emails as you wanted to your customers. You could just export all this data, retarget, all these things. Some of these things are still being done, but I see those loopholes starting to close more and more, and I think that could be a trend in 2020 that more of those loopholes close. Now, what does that mean? What can we do? That makes all of your off Amazon and capturing your customer in another way more important than ever, whether this is through an insert card strategy or other marketing strategies. But to be able to do that post customer nurturing, meaning after you already got the sale on Amazon, how can I really get these people into my brand, not just being Amazon's customers? That has always been important. That's something I've talked about for years, but that is becoming a little bit more difficult and is going to require a more deliberate strategy than ever. I think that is going to continue to evolve, especially this year. And this next shift is also a little bit scary, also something that's getting a little bit more difficult. But by the way, if you're taking this as a very negative, this is not an opportunity, that is definitely not the tone I mean to be setting. If anything, when things get a little bit more difficult, it allows people that are really going to figure it out and navigate to have potentially more of an opportunity, because it's not just being so over flooded the way that it was in the past. So if you're not catching my drift, this is definitely still a great opportunity. It is shifting, it is changing. There are different strategies, there are principles and foundations that will set you up for success over the long term, and there is a lot of old, outdated stuff that will not work. And so this shift that I'm seeing is that it's becoming increasingly difficult to rely on Amazon as your marketing strategy. And what I mean by this is that the strategy always has been, and still is to a large extent, is to use off Amazon strategies and internal Amazon strategies to get yourself ranked on Amazon, to get yourself into that Amazon ecosystem, which, by the way, does not just mean ranking on page 1 for one keyword. That means being a lot of different places for a lot of keywords and showing up in a lot of all these different places, in the cart, in the frequently bought togethers. There's so much more to that ranking, and that is still completely true. But the thing is that as this platform has matured and sellers have gotten more and more competent, it's closed some of these gaps. Because see, you used to be able to say invest X amount of dollars to be able to get to this point, and then there was this much value, let's say. Those are not numbers, but you bear with me for a second. What has changed is that as things kind of level out, sellers realize how much that stuff is actually worth, meaning we know how hard we can compete, how much we can go into the red to get there, and it has squeezed down those margins and that value in actually getting that done. So this means that people are investing more in their ranking strategies. They're investing more in their PPC, Amazon sponsored products, pay-per-click advertising. So these things are a little bit tighter on margin, and they're becoming even more tight as it continues to refine itself over time. And so what this means for you and me as sellers is we have to be more and more forward thinking about new strategies and new platforms and new ways of bringing customers to Amazon and off of Amazon, and bringing the Amazon customers to our own site and bringing our own following to Amazon. These things are more important and only getting even more important as we move forward. So what would I do if I was starting now, and would I even start now? And the honest answer is yes. There's still a lot of opportunity within the Amazon platform, and there will always be massive opportunity in creating your own product brand, whether in the future Amazon is completely obsolete or not. This is still going to be valuable, and Amazon right now is a very crucial step in that process. Will it be in 10 years? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the overall business model is going to be viable for sure. There's always new products and there's always new businesses cutting through in new ways. And so if you're looking to start now, what I'll leave you with is yes, it is an opportunity. It's going to take some money. It's going to take some risk, and it's going to take a lot of learning and trial and error. That is true, but it will most likely be very worth it. And the people that will not succeed with this business model are the people that are looking for something incredibly quick. They're not going to put the time and the thought into making a great product that really fits a market. And they are people that are not going to be willing to continue to invest in learning new strategies and keeping a pulse on what's going on. And so if you do want to get started, one thing to help you out with the hardest part, which is finding that right product, I put together a free training. The link will be in the description. I definitely encourage you to check that out. It is my entire system straight out of my paid course that I touch on in this free training. So you definitely don't want to miss that. That will be linked in the description below this video. And think of that as part of what I'm saying. You need to be learning. You need to be keeping a pulse on what's going on. So watch that training, watch YouTube videos, go back and watch my past videos, watch other channels, listen to podcasts, join Facebook groups. There's a free one in the description for that as well. And overall, give this a real try. This is not just something to slap together in an afternoon. You're starting a real business. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, please do smash the like button and leave a comment on this video. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Hit the bell so you know when I post a new video, and go back and browse some of my old videos as well. Feel free to also follow me on Instagram, and yeah, see you soon.